Let's jump to this story. This is big news. We have this tweet. Per Puck News, leaked Democrat internal polling from Open Labs. Ladies and gentlemen, it is substantially worse than anybody realizes. According to this leaked polling data, internal from Democrats, Joe Biden is down in double digits in several key states. You even look at New Hampshire, he's down 3 points. Wisconsin, 4 points. I made this argument earlier that I think if you take the 270 to win map, toss-up states are now lean Republican and lean Democrats are now toss-ups. After that debate, it was so bad. And you can actually see this. Look at this. The margin drop post-debate because of Biden's performance. It is 2 points across the board in basically every state. He's lost 2 solid points in key states.
And there's no denying it at this point. I know you still get people like Jennifer Rubin is on Twitter all day being like, oh, the polls are exactly the same as they were months ago. And stuff. I'm like, okay, well, just look at them, lady. But, this is clearly a strategic leak. The Democrats are usually a lot better about keeping things hush-hush internally. And, all of a sudden we got leaked internal polling because they're in scorched earth mode at this point. Look at, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, places Trump supposedly lost last election. He's deeply underwater in those territories.
I mean, look,
there's no way for him to win with this.
You take North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and I turned them red, Trump wins.
Election's over.
Election's over. But he's also underwater in Wisconsin.
Yep. And Michigan.
And Michigan. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Yep. 312 Republican.
It was transparent.
This is the internal Democrat data right now. Take a look at this. Bobby Barack says, I've seen different maps, but from my calculation, this is the map projection based on Open Labs' new internal polling data, meaning if Open Labs polling holds, it will be 205 Democrats, 333 Republicans. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to have an open convention at the DNC, and they're going to nominate somebody else. Kamala Harris gets tossed out, and everyone's wondering, what's the political move? There doesn't need to be one. Mm-hmm. She has no choice. She'll come out and say, I am happy that the people of the convention have spoken. It's democracy. We love democracy. Thank you, everybody. And that's it.
Yep. Yeah. I get the feeling that she feels humiliated frequently in this position this season too. Like she wasn't really qualified. She got picked. Was she even running for president?
Yeah, she was running for president.
She was like on the poll. She had like 2%.
She dropped out, got a facelift, and came back as his VP.
And after she said that she thought that Biden was a racist and had done things to women and such,
and then flipped like a 180 right
it's
after.
Like, how do you go from? But all right, well, I mean, but we know exactly what happened there, and she's only polling 1 point higher than Joe Biden in the theoretical polling data that's coming out. Trump versus Kamala matchup. It's not good.
She's always been unpopular. I mean, that's one of the issues. She was
from the moment she stepped foot in office.
Right, and Biden unpopular. Made her the border czar. Well, look how well that's going for everybody. Like then she was on a national abortion tour. Like she is too hostile of a character. I don't think that she could actually launch a campaign at this point. I think she could go back to California and potentially win governorship if Newsom leaves.
That might be the play right there.
It is. I think that's totally what's because he's term limited. So she checks out of this situation, goes back to California, becomes the governor, freeing him up to write a book and then run for president.
That's an interesting philosophy. Yeah.
But I think your point that it's interesting that there's even a leak at all is a good one to bring up because I think it speaks to the fact that there is intense internal chaos within the Democratic Party. And I have thought this for a long time. Democrats are always like, Republicans are all crazy, they don't get along. But that's because Republicans are ultimately all people who have different values who are trying to sort it out. Whereas if you have a party that's like, everyone fall in line and people stop doing that, it's much more divisive. Yep. And I think the fact that they're throwing these polls out would be indicative if it was an intentional leak by someone inside. The campaign is saying, we can't do this. We need to force the Biden family to accept that he needs to leave, and they will never do that.
Yeah, but I mean, we literally even had leaks out of Camp David this weekend, which unheard of, talking about how the Biden family was blaming, top advisors like Ron Klain and stuff, and putting all the blame from the poor debate performance on his advisors.
Intense internal division.
Yeah, exactly. We heard about that Biden's sleeping hours or his awake hours are from 10 to 4. And I mean, all of this happening at one time, they're trying to force him out.
I heard that his advisor, when they were prepping for the debate, was basically prepping Biden to face a hostile Trump, a Trump that was going to insult him and make fun of him. So Biden went in expecting that, and Trump was just super chill. Yeah. And Biden just stumbled around on himself.
That was great. I always didn't want Trump to come off as hostile because that was the big criticism of him in 2020, right? That he was too, aggressive and whatever else, and it made Biden comparatively looked kind of calm and cool.
Yeah, so the Biden camp demanded that there would be a mute button and no audience. I think both of those things backfired on Joe Biden because Trump couldn't just keep speaking. I mean, there's nothing that he could say. He could not railroad Biden even if he wanted to. And, Trump's a showman. If you have an audience, you're trying to get a reaction out of the audience as well. There was no audience to get a reaction out of. And so Biden had more than enough rope to hang himself. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, it's also interesting because I could be misremembering here, but I'm pretty sure the first person to talk, despite being muted, was Biden. So there was a level of there were these rules that were supposed to hurt Trump, but it seems like Biden was the one suffering. And I think ultimately all of this comes down to what is the perception of the American people. And it's not one that I think is recoverable because they have damaged themselves on two fronts, right? Joe Biden looks weak. He looks lost. He looks confused. He looks like he doesn't know what's going on. He keeps saying Trump is lying, but there are very obvious, clear signs that he was lying, or at least misremembering, which is also not good. Mm-hmm. But then also, for months, the mainstream media, which, as we know, is largely an apparatus of progressive or democratic causes, said everything is fine. Anytime a right-wing person says that something's up with Joe Biden's balance or memory or walk or anything, they're crazy. They're conspiracy theorists. They're, disrespectful to the president. And then he came on stage and it was not good. He did not seem like a strong, healthy man.
What really kind of cements all this that he's not going to be the nominee is that Jake Tapper and Anderson Cooper are going so hard against him and pointing out that his dementia, or if it's Alzheimer's, I'm not sure. They're different, obviously, but they're basically controlled by by CNN, their company, parent company, which is controlled by Five Eyes, the Imperial Spy Club, whatever you want to call it, the deep state. And so all the signs are there that the deep state has decided to allow this criticism of the guy. They wouldn't do that if they wanted him to win, and they're not going to let him win if they don't want him to win. The DNC gets to pick their own candidate with superdelegates. They have zero chance. Biden in no way gets any kind of popular opportunity. It's whatever the DNC wants to do is what they're going to do.
Right.
So the polling data extended that shows Biden, Buttigieg, Harris, Newsom, and Whitmer, no matter who it is, they're underwater. Trump only needs North Carolina, Arizona, and I believe Georgia. So let's do this. Let's reset the map and say North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Okay, so that still puts him a little bit shy. So let's throw in, I guess he would need at least one more. Buttigieg, they say, they're claiming Buttigieg is doing the best. North Carolina, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada. He would need one more state. But to be fair, how are they doing in PA? Looks like Democrats are doing moderately well in PA. I think Michigan probably doesn't make the most sense. The state that makes the most sense is probably going to be PA, which looks like they're all underwater. So if Trump secures that based on this polling, no matter who they bring in, Trump wins. I mean, right now, Biden is underwater in PA. Buttigieg is only underwater by 0.4, margin of error. Harris is underwater by 2 points, Newsom by 1.3, and Whitmer by 0.3.
Michelle Obama.
It's got to be Michelle Obama. There's no other. And look, this isn't something I want to say.
Michelle Obama doesn't want to do it.
Well,
why do you believe? Why believe that?
Right.
I think that she has a really nice life.
She
and
does.
She doesn't
So did
want
Trump.
this.
So did Trump.
Look, she's not running for office. I mean, Hillary Clinton was first lady and then ran for governor of New York, right? Michelle Obama's been hanging out on yachts and raising her kids and doing whatever.
Private jets around the
going
world.
on her podcast. She did not make any forward political moves when they left the White House. That's very different from Hillary Clinton, who we know if they asked her to run, she would run
this
right
is
now.
also-
But Barack Obama looks over at Michelle and he goes, Michelle, if you don't run, I'm going to jail. So you got to do it. That's it.
Yeah, but it's also about the Obama legacy as well, because Obama has tied himself so tight to Joe Biden now, especially doing all these fundraisers, going around the country with him, and he's basically dragging Biden along. It's going to look awful on Obama and his legacy if this is just if everybody totally melts down in the Democrat Party. So
it's interesting that you say
she is his savior.
It's interesting that you said it because I have felt like since Joe Biden announced he was running for office, the Obamas have been trying to distance themselves from him.
Well, they wouldn't endorse him in the primary.
They wouldn't endorse him. Anytime they've kind of talked about him, it's been sort of muted. Even Obama's last tweet being like, bad debate nights happen. It did not seem like a really strong supportive argument. It was sort of like, yeah, I know that guy, and be nice to him. It's it's kind of sad.
But that's not how the people see it, though.
I think it is how they see it. I think people know that the Obamas are distant from Joe Biden, and I think that there's a level of like they expected there to be more buddy Obama presence at the White House, and I do think Obama's, especially his staff, have huge influence on the Biden administration, especially at the staffing level. But I think Obama himself does not believe that he has a real strong connection with Joe. It's always seemed to me the perception for me has been that the Biden family is always trying to point out how close the families used to be, that their granddaughter and one of the Obama daughters were graduated the same year, than whatever else. It's always the Biden sort of trying to lean on the Obamas, not the other way around. Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.